to Pieces of a Broken Mind for another live Q&A. Let me just make sure the chat settings are working this time. Because last time, for some reason, YouTube wasn't showing my chat. So I know a lot of you messaged, in the chat, and I wasn't ignoring you. I just for some reason was unable to see my chat. So welcome back to another live Q&A, where we talk about all things mental health, recovery, trauma, and of course, we talk about anything that you guys want to talk about as well. So welcome back to the channel. I've just finished actually recording my first episode for my brand new mental health podcast, which will be launching on my new podcast channel on the 8th of July. And it was a really good episode. Really enjoyed it. I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. I had a great guest, and he was very open, very honest, very raw, and it was, a powerful. It was a powerful. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it was a very powerful episode. So that's coming on the 8th of July. Brand new podcast, launching on my new channel, which is specifically just for long form content, podcast episodes, real stories, real conversations. But that's for that channel. This is for this channel. Welcome back to a live Q&A. How is everyone? How's your mental health? How are you looking after your mental well-being? I'm hoping the chat is up and running properly this time. Anyway, let's talk about my mental health. So, recently it's been up and down, and that's normal when you've been diagnosed with what I have. You have good days and you have bad days. But it's how you face those days, is what matters. It's how you move forward in life. I will always have this mental illness now, probably, but I can learn to live alongside it, and you can do that through getting help and support, and that's where starting the conversation about mental health comes in. You need to have the conversation. You need to admit that you need help. You need to find the acceptance that you need help. And then you need to find the courage and the strength to ask for help. You don't have to suffer in silence anymore when it comes to mental health. You don't have to go through this alone. You are not alone. There are many people across the world who suffer with mental illness. So you are not alone. So you need to start the conversation about mental health. You can do it. You can do it. It's within you. You have the courage and you have the strength. You can do this. You can do this, and mental health matters. Your mental health matters. You have what you're going through is valid. Your feelings are valid. And I'm just editing my podcast episode as well here. Right. Yeah, so I was just, sorry guys, I was just switching off the editing on there. Back to this live Q&A. Can someone message in the chat to make sure it's working this time? Because last time, for some reason, I couldn't see my chat. So I was just wondering if anyone's watching, can you send a message just saying hi or something, so I know the chat is working this time. Because I don't want to be ignoring people like last time. When I was talking about mental health, because this is supposed to be a live Q&A, and I really want to and know that the chat is up and running. So if anyone can put something in the chat, I would really appreciate that, so I know the live chat is working. But get your questions in. This is a live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery, trauma, stigma, discrimination, and of course whatever else you guys want to talk about, or whatever else you guys want to get off your mind, because a problem shared is a problem halved. Conversations are a very powerful thing, especially conversations around mental health. So, start the conversation, end the silence, break the stigma. That's what we need to do, and we can do that together. Again, I'm still waiting to see if there's anyone who can send a message in the chat just to make. Are we back? Yep, are we back? Hopefully that's working now. I don't know what happened there, guys. I'm having a nightmare tonight. Thank you, Boots Official. Hello to you as well. I'm having a nightmare tonight, guys. Sorry about that. It's been a long evening. I just did a podcast episode, 1 hour and 13 minutes. Mental health podcast. So, yeah, I'm tired. But I'm here, I'm live, and I'm ready to answer your questions. So please do get your questions in. This is a live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery. So please do get your questions in. How is everyone doing? Let me know how you are. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I can't say your name. I'm gonna butcher that name. Sorry if I can't pronounce that name. But hi, thank you. And you're from Kurdistan. Thank you for watching. I'm based in the UK. This is a mental health live Q&A where we talk about mental health, recovery, trauma, depression, anxiety, complex PTSD, all of those things. So if you want to start the conversation, if you want to be a part of that, please do. You're very, very welcome. Good evening, Tash. Thankfully, my chat is working tonight. Hope you're okay. Don't forget, guys, this is a live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery. Please do be respectful in the chat. Please be mindful of others. Please be mindful of what you're saying, because it could trigger other people's mental health issues. So, be kind and keep it respectful in the chat. But get your questions in. This is a live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery. Sorry for the start of the stream. It's a nightmare. I don't know what was going on, but we're fixed and we're up and running now. So get your questions in, guys. This is a live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery. So that's what I'm here for, to answer your questions. Yeah, thank goodness for that. Yeah. I don't know what was happening at the start of the stream. I went off, come back on, didn't know if the chat was working. Yeah, it's just a nightmare start, but at least I can see the chat this evening. At least I can interact with people and answer people's questions. So please do get your questions in. I know there's only 3 people watching at the moment, but we'll keep going, because it's important that we have these mental health conversations, not just about ourselves, but with everyone else. Because on my channel, Pieces of a Broken Mind, everyone's mental health matters, not just men's. Everyone's mental health matters, and everyone is welcome on my channel. And my channel is inclusive of everyone. And if you want to know a bit more about the channel, then just read the channel description. It explains exactly what the channel's about, what sort of content you can find on the channel, and of course a bit about my personal journey through mental illness as well. So if you want to learn about the channel, please do read the channel description. It'll give you some information and some feedback about whether you want to subscribe to the channel. So if you have any questions as well, or you want to read about the channel, then please do check out the channel description. But everyone is welcome on my channel. Everyone is welcome to be a part of my mental health community that I'm trying to build on YouTube. And like I said, I'm super excited for my podcast. I've just finished recording episode 1. Obviously the podcast will have its own separate channel. It is a mental health podcast, and episode 1 will launch on the 8th of July. So please do get your questions in. That's what I'm here for. I'm live now for the next hour to talk about mental health, recovery, and answer any questions from anyone out there that wants to participate in the live chat. I got one of those relaxing videos on again with the relaxing music. I like to have one of those in the background when I'm live. It helps relax me and makes me less nervous. So I really enjoy watching these relaxing videos with relaxing sounds and autumn scenery with a fireplace. So can't go wrong. But we're here for a mental health Q&A, so I'm ready and waiting for people's questions. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't get a lot of people watching when you're a small channel, but I still go live. I still show up every Wednesday and every Sunday evening. I go live for a minimum of 1 hour to make sure that I can try and help whoever stumbles across my channel and my content, to let them know that they're not alone suffering with mental illness. I show up every Wednesday, every Sunday evening live on YouTube to help start the conversation around mental health. So that's what these lives are for, and everyone is welcome, and everyone is welcome to ask a question, and I'll answer them as honest as I can. And you can ask about my diagnosis, you can ask about my mental illness. I'm open. I openly talk about my mental illness and my diagnosis, so I'm happy to talk about that. I have been diagnosed with complex PTSD, clinical depression and anxiety disorder, and ADHD. So that's my diagnosis, and I'm happy to talk about that. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything you want. I do say it how it is. And sometimes viewer discretion is advised, because sometimes it can be very distressing for people to hear. But if you're not honest when you're talking about your mental health, you're doing yourself a disservice, because mental illness is no joke, and mental illness is invisible, and I'm fighting wars in my head that you'll never be able to see, but they're there every single day, and they form part of my life now, whether through the good or the bad, they're there. But I can talk about it because this is like another therapy session for me, because I have therapy, and sometimes when I'm not in therapy I need therapy, so these lives do help with that. Conversation helps with that, going live helps with that, so that's what I'm live for. Mental health Q&As, mental health conversations. Let me know how you are. Let me know where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. I would normally be live a lot earlier, but I would normally go live about 7 p.m. UK time, but I had the podcast episode to record, and my old man came over, so that's why I'm a bit late going live tonight. But I am live. Normally I would be live around 7 p.m, between 7 and 8. I know it's a bit late tonight, so maybe I won't get as many viewers as I normally would, but I will still do my job. I will show up for a minimum of 1 hour, and I will talk about mental health. and we shall talk about stigma, because stigma still shames us all. Stigma is something that we can't remove from society. Stigma is something that will always exist. Stigma is a challenge that we need to overcome. Stigma is an obstacle that we need to overcome. And I think there's a systemic problem in society with stigma, because you shouldn't be ashamed of your mental illness. Mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of, but stigma and bias does shame us all. So if you're a part of the problem, then you need to stop using stigma as a weapon to criticize someone. Stigma is something that stops a lot of people from talking about mental health, stops a lot of people opening up, and they feel like they're on their own because of that stigma. That's something we need to try and remove, and we can only do that through honest conversations about stigma, about why the stigma still exists, about why stigma is so prevalent around mental health. Just because a lot of people can't see it makes them believe that it's not real, that you can just get over it, or you need to man up, all that bollocks. If you've seen what goes on inside my head and the wars I fight on a daily basis, and those intrusive thoughts of wanting to end my life, if you've had those thoughts in your head, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Paul says shave beard. How about, Paul, you wind your neck in, jog on, and go and touch grass. Mate, this is a live Q&A to talk about mental health, and you're telling me to shave my beard. How about you go fuck yourself, and wind your neck in, and you've just been blocked, you absolute moron. That moron has been deleted and blocked. What an absolute idiot. I'm not going to shave my beard. I want a beard. I want a Santa beard, but I can't get one. It is what it is. I don't give a, if you don't like my appearance, then don't fucking watch. I don't give a shit. But you'll always get idiots and trolls in the chat anyway. But he got a reaction, he got what he wanted. But then he also got blocked, and he had his neck wound in, so... Anyway, getting back to this discussion of stigma. So, this stigma and this discrimination that still exists around the conversation about mental health is what is stopping other people opening up and talking about mental health. It is what's stopping people from finding help and support when they need it. They fear the stigma, they fear the discrimination, because they feel like it's a stick to beat them with. So how do we remove stigma and discrimination from today's society? I guess we just keep having the conversations. You'll never fully be able to remove stigma, because people will always find a reason to use it, and people will always find a reason to use discrimination and stigma as a weapon to criticize someone. But the more people that talk about it, the more people that are opening up about it, then the easier it becomes to combat that stigma, to manage that stigma, to ignore that stigma. Because there are many people out there who just want to help. There are many people out there who just want to listen and want us to talk and want to get better and want to understand what mental illness in its entirety. And it's sometimes, and in many ways, stigma stopped me from getting help initially. Discrimination, stigma scared me so much that I just threw myself into my job, and it's not the way forward. You need to find the courage and bravery to talk about it, and that comes with every action has a reaction. So if you're putting yourself out there on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever it may be to talk about mental health, then you're gonna get some pushback. You just gotta tell them how it is, block them, and move on, because mental health conversations are so important. And if we stop having mental health conversations to appease other people, then then we're just accepting the stigma. We're just accepting discrimination as it's okay, when it's not. It's not okay. Mental health stigma is something that costs many people their life. So once you get past stigma and discrimination, once you find that acceptance, you can then go and get the help that you need through therapy, through counselling, or through talking to a mental health professional, or your local doctor, GP, whatever it may be. There are many avenues where you can go and get help or support. There's also mental health charities. There's also helplines like the Samaritans and stuff like that. So there are many different ways of support, and I will link all that information in the video description after this live. All the helplines and all the websites for the UK, the US, and the rest of the world for mental health support. I will put all that in the video description if you want to check those links out after the video. But there are many ways where you can get mental health support. So don't give up on yourself. There is help out there. There is hope, even when your brain tells you there isn't. There is hope. If you can face the fear and find hope, then you can get on the road to recovery. And you only need to take the first step, and then we'll worry about the second step another day. Take the first step, ask for help, reach out and say, I need support. That is the first step on the road to recovery, and you will get that support. And then you can, there's no time limit on your recovery. It takes as long as it takes. You deserve the time to heal, and I really do hope you heal from the things that you don't talk about. I really hope you heal from those things. Some scars never heal. Some traumas never heal. That's why we have scars, because those scars remind us that we've had these things that happen to us, and you need to start taking mistakes as lessons, not life sentences. You're a human being. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make wrong choices, and you're gonna do things. In hindsight, you might do differently. That's just life. That's just being human. We make mistakes, but they're not life sentences. Stop punishing yourself, and get the help and support you deserve to be able to move forward. Because sometimes in life we do have to revisit the things in the past that hold us back in order to move forward. So you will have to face your inner demons. You will have to face yourself. You will have to face your fears, insecurities. You will have to come to terms with the fact that you've made mistakes. And if you can face yourself, you can face anything. And if I could survive complex PTSD every single day, and survive suicidal thoughts most days, then you can as well. And recovery is possible, and we're showing that by having these conversations. We're showing that by creating content. We're showing that by showing up for each other on YouTube. And I don't care if there's one person watching, 2 people watching, or 3 people watching. As long as if I can help one person that day feel like that they're not on their own, then that's a win for me. Another idiot in the chat has had his comment deleted. Absolute moron. He's going to be blocked as well. What is it? Another idiot called Luthen. What an absolute knob. Two blocked this evening already. Absolute morons. But this is what you put up with on social media. You try to have adult, grown-up conversations about very serious subjects like mental health, like complex PTSD, like depression, like suicidal thoughts, and then you get idiots in the chat who just want to chuck stupid comments out there. Well, unfortunately for you, you just got blocked, your neck wound in, and jog on. Okay? It's too late in the evening for the idiots. Like I said, normally I would have been live earlier, but podcast episode and then my old man come round, so I'm not shaving my beard, but I do need a haircut. But right, so we've talked about stigma, we've talked about discrimination, and we've talked about starting the conversation about mental health. So let's talk about my PTSD. A lot of people associate PTSD and complex PTSD with war veterans, with soldiers, with people who have served in the army. But that PTSD and complex PTSD is not specific to people who have been in the army. Complex PTSD is a culmination of many different events in your life that have happened to you that you relive through nightmares and flashbacks. PTSD normally focuses on one event, one very specific traumatic event. Complex PTSD is a culmination of many different traumas that manifest themselves into nightmares, flashbacks, and stuff like that. So it's not just soldiers that have PTSD or complex PTSD. Many people have it for many different reasons and for many different traumas. I have it, and I have nightmares and flashbacks about various different things. One or two, I can't go into because that's being dealt with. One of the reasons one of the nightmares and flashbacks that I have, or one of the themes of the nightmares and flashbacks that I have, are the days I wanted to end my life. Those two are quite prevalent in my mind. The others I won't discuss too much. But complex PTSD is not just for soldiers, it's for everyone. Like 1 in 5 people in the UK now will suffer with a common mental health disorder. And that can be from anything from mild depression to anxiety. So 1 in 5 people suffer with a common mental health disorder. We are in a mental health crisis at the moment, in my opinion. The waiting lists in the UK for mental health support are shocking. I'm on the waiting lists myself. I have to pay for my therapy privately because I'm still on waiting lists for very specific treatment for the trauma. Mal Pookie 1 says, hi, good evening, welcome to the chat, welcome to the live. This is a live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery. So if you have any questions, please do get the questions in. I was talking about, so 1 in 5 people will suffer with a common mental health disorder in the UK. So imagine how many people you walk past in the street every single day. 1 in 5 of those people are going through something that you can't see. The problem with mental illness is people are going through wars that you can't see. Mal Pookie 1 says, my question is, how rare is it to keep getting bit by a mosquito? I haven't got a clue. Completely irrelevant to the title of my live Q&A, but thank you for the question. I'm going to move on. It's not a question for a live mental health Q&A. So yeah, I'll move on from that one. So when you think about it, 1 in 5 people that you pass in the street, or 1 in 5 people that you meet through work or whatever it may be, or at a social event, Some of those people will be going through things that you can't see behind closed doors. Some people hide behind a smile, and you can't see the wars inside their mind. You can't see the darkness. You can't see the pain. You can't see the brokenness of them inside. So choose to be kind. You never know what someone's going through behind closed doors. So think before you speak and try and help people. Earth 4.5 billion says hello. Good evening. Welcome to the live. This is the live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery. So, if you want to be a part of the chat, get your questions in. Obviously, Real Squidward, trust guys. Are you a Christian? Yes, I am. I am a Catholic, but I don't talk about religion, politics, or world news on this channel. This is a mental health channel, and those are the only conversations that I have. I don't get involved in politics, don't get involved in religion debates, I don't get involved in any of that. This channel is about mental health. This channel is about starting the conversation and helping people. But I will answer your question. Yes, I am a Christian, but no, I don't talk about religion, politics, or news on this channel. This is a live Q&A where I talk about mental health, recovery, trauma, depression, anxiety, all of those things. Real Squidward Trust Guy says, oh, I had a question, but all right. The question was for religion. I'm not discussing religion. I don't get involved in those debates. Each to their own. I'll keep that to my private life. Like I said, this is a live Q&A where we talk about mental health and recovery. So if you have any questions regarding mental health, then I'll happily to answer those questions. But I don't want to get involved in anything else on this channel other than mental health and raising mental health awareness. But appreciate you trying, but it's not going to happen. Real Squidward Trust Guy says, alright, hope that your channel grows. I'm now going to sleep since it's 4 a.m. Okay, get some rest, my friend. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the support. I'm hoping the channel grows. And look after yourself and enjoy your sleep. I'll be going to bed very soon after this live as well. I'll be ending this live. Once this live's over, I'll have a shower and I'll be going to bed. Just checking the editing on my video. It's all done now, but I can't be asked doing the rest, so I'll do the rest tomorrow. Although I don't edit anything really. I don't edit anything out. I leave everything in. I don't try and change anything. I want to be authentic as I can when I have these live Q&As, and I hope that comes across in my videos. I'm very honest. I'm very honest with myself, and I'm very honest with everyone else. I don't claim to be anything I'm not. I'm not perfect. I've made many mistakes. I swim in regrets every single day, but this channel has given me purpose. This channel has given me clarity and perspective about wanting to grow the channel and raise awareness about mental health. So this channel has also played a part in my recovery, and it has also played a part in my growth over the last few years battling mental illness. And talking about it on YouTube has massively helped, and I appreciate YouTube for giving me the platform to be able to verbalize what's going on inside my mind. For me, YouTube is the best social media platform to have conversations on. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram as well, but I very rarely post on Instagram. I do post on TikTok, but I do, my core mental health passion is this channel, um, Pieces of a Broken Mind. It was created because my mind was broken, and I'm trying to put the pieces back together slowly. So, I really hope one day this channel can be something positive for a lot of people. Raising mental health awareness takes a lot of things. It takes people to engage. It takes people to get involved in the conversation. It takes people to overcome the stigma and the discrimination, and support people. And raising mental health awareness should be something that we all try and do. Not we should not talk about it because there's stigma or there's discrimination. We should talk about these things. And a conversation is a very powerful thing. And mental health conversations can save a life. So have a conversation about your mental health today and save a life. And treat your mental health as a priority, like your life depends on it, because it does. Your mental health should have the same importance as your physical health, but it doesn't. A lot of people find it easier to talk about their physical health rather than their mental health. And I get that. No one wants to admit that they're struggling mentally, but they're happy to admit that they're struggling physically. And it's quite a dilemma when it comes to openness. But if you give your physical health and your mental health the same importance, then you should be able to verbalize on both sides about where you are with your physical health and where you are with your mental health, because your mental well-being is massively important as well. Of course, so is your physical health, but my channel is predominantly about starting the conversation about mental health. So everyone's mental health matters. Everyone is valued. Everyone is seen. Everyone should be heard. This is a channel for everyone to be a part of. I upload every single day on the channel. There's something on the channel for you to watch every single day. I'm live twice a week. I'm continuously posting in the community tab motivational messages, motivational quotes about mental health, to try and educate people, to try and get people talking and starting the conversation. That is the most important thing to me. And if I can help just one person a day, then I'm happy. Because social media is hard, and talking about mental health, especially your own, it does take it out of you. It is exhausting emotionally and mentally talking about your mental health, but I have to, because it needs to be talked about. Because if the more people that give in to those sort of what if questions in your mind, do I have to talk about this? Yes, you do, because it might inspire someone to talk about their story. Some days I don't want to talk about. I wish I could go live every day, but I can't. That's just not the way my brain works. I have daily battles with my mind. So twice a week at the moment is what I'm managing. So every Wednesday and Sunday evening, you don't have to feel alone, because I will be live on my channel. You can talk to me. We can interact. We can engage with each other. We can have a conversation. If you guys want it, you don't have to, but you can have a conversation. You can get in the chat. You can say hello. We can talk about your mental health, or if there's something worrying you, or if there's any advice that you might need. And I always say, I should have said it at the start of my video, but as a channel disclaimer, I am not a counsellor. I am not a therapist. I am someone with lived experience, with a mental illness diagnosis, and I like to talk about it. If you are suffering with a serious mental health problem, please see or talk to a mental health professional. I am just someone with lived experience who talks about it on YouTube. Yes, I do have a coaching business on the side, but that is that. This channel, I'm just me. I'm just Dominic. I'm just talking about mental health. So I'm happy to answer any questions, talk to you, listen, give you the best advice that I can from my own personal experiences, and hopefully we can build that sort of relationship where we can talk to each other as channel host and subscribers. Because one day my dream for this channel is to be able to do I do these live Q&As, but in front of a live audience, where I would obviously go to different places all around the world and have live event shows with a live audience, and then invite people up onto the stage to have a one-to-one conversation with me, and stream that on YouTube. That is one of my dreams for the channel. Big dreams. So I got to keep moving forward. I got to keep believing. I got to keep talking about mental health. I got to believe in the message. I got to embrace mental health and embrace my mental illness, and use my diagnosis to help me become a better person, help me become a better coach, and help me become a better partner and a better human being and father. So I am, and I know I'm hard work. I'm closed off a lot of the time. I'm broken inside a lot of the time, and shit happens. But I'm working at that every single day. So I hope you continue to see the progress, if you keep watching the channel, and hopefully I'll continue on that journey through mental illness with you, and we will continue having these mental health conversations and helping people and supporting people, and making sure people understand that they're valued, that they're heard, that they're seen, and letting them know that they are not alone when it comes to mental illness. They are not on their own. I've been in that darkness. I've been in dark places where you're empty, you're broken, and there's nothing anyone can say or do to bring you back. You have to bring yourself back. You have to find some glimmer of light in your life and hold on to it. The only thing stronger than fear is hope. So hope is what you need to manifest into your life. Hope is what you need to drive you to get help, to get support, and then to move forward. Hope is a very powerful attribute. Hope is a very powerful feeling, and it can take you places that you never thought possible if you have it, and if you embrace it. And look, what I will say is one day your life will flash before your eyes, and you need to make sure it's worth watching, because no matter what's happened to you or what's happening to you or what might happen to you in the future, life will continue to go on. Life goes on, and we need to learn to live along. We need to learn to move along with life as well. So whatever's happening to you, however many times you get knocked down, get back up and show up for yourself every single day. It doesn't matter how you're feeling, how bad you're feeling. Get up, show up, and do the fucking thing. Do the thing that you've been putting off. I've had the idea of doing a very specific mental health podcast for a long time, and I've talked myself out of it many times. I finally done episode 1 today, and I'm live on YouTube as well. So I'm doing things that my mind says I can't do. I'm doing things that my mind doesn't want me to do. And you can do that as well. You don't have to give in to your inner critic. You don't have to give in to your bully boy voice that might be in your head, you know? And I think the way we talk to ourselves is, important as well. Good evening, Jay. Thank you for being here today. You're very welcome, as always. Apologies if I missed you on Sunday's live, but my chat wasn't working for some reason. But I still need your email address for the podcast episode that I would like you to come on. But welcome. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So that inner voice and that self-critic, that if you keep giving that, if you keep feeding your subconscious negativity, you'll start to believe it, and it'll start, that inner voice, that inner critic will start using your negativity against you. So that's where you need to start talking to yourself a bit kinder. That's where you need to talk to yourself a bit lighter. That's where you need to give yourself some credit. That's where you need to relax, take a deep breath, and say, I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, bring yourself back down to the moment. And, you know, if you can't do that on your own, then of course, that's when you need to go and get help. That's when you need to go and get support. And, you know, like I said, there are many different avenues you can go down, and there are many different ways to get help and support. I think what's important today is that we understand, first of all, how powerful mental health conversations are. Secondly, we need to understand that self-care is how we take our power back. Thirdly, we need to understand that, you know, life is 10% of what happens to you, but 90% of how you react to it. The only things opinions and feelings and opinions of others have any power over you is if you give them a reaction, you know? So don't give them that reaction. Don't give them that power. Your superpower is hope. Your superpower is your resilience. Your superpower is you. And you are you today. You're not your past. You're not your future. You are you in this moment today. And what are you doing today that's going to make your life better tomorrow? What am I doing today that's positive, that'll set me up for a better day tomorrow? I did a podcast episode and I'm live on YouTube talking about mental health, raising awareness, challenging stigma and discrimination. So if I can do that, then you guys can do that as well. And I think if there's three, I think. Hello everyone and welcome to my brand new pod. If you can implement these three things in your life, and I say it a lot with my coaching stuff as well, my life coaching stuff as well. If you can implement these three things in your life, your life will dramatically improve. Not instantly. You're not going to get over your traumas. You're not going to fully get over your mental illness, but you can learn to live alongside it. But if you can add these three things into your life, then you're on the road to recovery. You're on the right journey. That's clarity, purpose, and perspective. If you have those three things, then you can improve your life. You can improve your situation. You can battle back against the negativity in your mind and the inner wars and the sadness and the depression, and the pain and tears, the blood, all of those things, all the self-harming, if you've got clarity on where you want to go in life, if you know your purpose, the reason why you're here, and I've always said the two most important days of your life are the day you were born, and the second day is the day you realise what you were born for. And then thirdly is perspective. If you can have clarity, purpose, and perspective, then you can turn things around. You can do it. Jay says, email, yes, will do, brother. Thank you, my friend. Hopefully, I can get you on the podcast for episode 3. Jay says, wow, a massive windstorm is hitting my location at the moment. Wow. Well, hope you're safe, my friend. I hope you stay safe, and I hope everyone is safe in your location at the moment. I hope it's not too bad. Like I said, the world's a crazy place at the moment, but you know, as human beings, we can help each other through that. You know, I'm fed up of all the negativity in the world, all the hate, all the shit. You know, fuck it. Life's too short. Life's too short to not put yourself first. Life's too short to not make sure your mental health is a priority. Life's too short Jay says, yeah, possible tornadoes, electricity will definitely be gone soon. No, don't. Oh, I hope everything is okay, my friend. I hope you stay safe. And I hope, you know, thoughts and prayers are with everyone in your location. Hopefully everyone will be okay, and the storm will pass without any bad incidents. So fingers crossed, and thoughts and prayers with everyone in Jay's location at the moment. It's always thought-provoking when, you know, when people are going through natural phenomena like weathers and, you know, weather storms and earthquakes and flooding and all of those things. It really makes you think about what's important, and you know, what's important is you living your life, not existing. Your life is worth living, and you need to live it, and however that looks, you need to make it happen. Jay says, thank you, I'm sure it will, but we'll have some cleanup for sure. Well, I really hope everyone will be okay, and I'm sure they will. So, but if electricity does go off, I'll be thinking of you, my friend, and you're not on your own. And it's very, what's the word I want to use? It's very sobering, a very sobering thought, with how bad and how things can change so fast in the world. So I hope everyone's okay. Jay says it's super hot here today, 37 Celsius. Wow. It was boiling here a few days ago as well. It was the hottest UK day in history, and that was really bad trying to sleep in that heat. It was 30 something. I can't remember whether it was as high as 37, but it was in the mid 30s for sure. And for the UK, that's extremely hot. They were really bad days trying to sleep. You know, sweating my ass off. But 37, wow, that's extremely hot. I don't think I'd be able to cope with 37 degrees. So what time is it where you are? Because right now in the UK it is 10 to 11 in the evening. So it's 10 to 11 in the evening. Jay says, yes, I didn't sleep much last night. I can imagine, my friend. Yeah. Oh, 10 to 6. So it's tea time. So we're about what? 4 hours ahead? 5 hours ahead, maybe? Like I said, I would be live a lot earlier than normal, but I have to record the podcast episode, and then my old man come over. So yeah, that's why I'm live a little bit later tonight. And Jay says Canada. It's Canada Day today. I'd love to go to Canada. I would love to go to Canada at Christmas, and see it snowing, and a white Christmas in front of a log cabin in a log fire with traditional Christmas decorations. I love Canada, and if I ever have the money, I am definitely going to spend one Christmas in Canada. Can't afford it right now, but one day, there's a few places on my bucket list that I want to go at Christmas time. Canada, Finland, Switzerland, New York, and maybe Norway. I love snow. I think it's the most beautiful thing in the world, and I love. Jay says it's beautiful here in December. Yeah, I can imagine. I love seeing Canada in the winter. And I much prefer cold than hot. I'm definitely more of a cold weather person than a hot. I would love to live in Canada, in a nice big log cabin with a big fire, and hot chocolate. Yeah, I would just love to go to Canada. Jay says, ooh, Finland and Norway. Yeah, absolutely. I can't afford it right now, but one day I might be able to. Fingers crossed. One day that we'll be able to. Yeah, one day. Someday, absolutely, my friend. Maybe someday, um, you know, maybe someday I'll come to Canada, and do a live show in Canada somewhere, or do a live stream in Canada somewhere. I don't know. It depends. It depends on where this channel goes. And where my coaching takes me, and where my coaching business takes me, and I've got this channel to do, and I've got my brand new channel launching soon, with my new podcast. So who knows? In the future, maybe I'll be able to get there. Maybe one day I'll be able to visit all the places that I want to visit to at Christmas. Jay says, holy shit, wind is already dying down. Hopefully it stays dead. Well, fingers crossed, mate. Everyone's okay. Everyone stays safe. And, what part of Canada do you live? I think the capital is Toronto, isn't it? Or is it Ottawa? Or is it Nova Scotia? Canada's such a beautiful country. Ah, that's it, Ontario. 2 hours from Toronto. Okay. You've had some good wrestlers from Canada back in the day. Edge and Christian are the two that come straight to mind. And obviously Bret the Hitman Hart is is a Canadian, so Yeah, you have a rich history in wrestling for sure. Ah, Toronto is Ontario's capital and Ottawa is Canada's capital. Right, okay. Got you. Um, well, I really hope one day I get to visit such a beautiful place. Um, because it's like I'd love to go to New York at Christmas and do the. They got like online. You can do a Home Alone package, like Lost, from the film Lost in New York at that hotel, and it's called the Home Alone package. So I would love to be able to do that as well. I'd love to visit. I'd love to be able to visit. Lapland at Christmas and I'll do all these things. Jay says some of the best athletes and soldiers on earth come from here. Um, yeah. I don't know much about soldiers, but I obviously know that Canada has a rich history in, I would say, ice hockey, maybe. Um, Ice hockey is ice hockey the number one sport in Canada, or is it wrestling? I know wrestling. They've had loads of wrestlers, and but I would assume hockey is right up there in Canada. Yeah, hockey. Yeah, that's what I would have thought. That's what I would have thought. Ice hockey. But obviously they're. I don't know. Are they still in the World Cup or did they get knocked out? I know. Did they get through the group stages? I know England played tonight and they won. They beat Congo, the Dominion Republic of Congo, 2-1. But I can't remember whether Canada got through. I know the USA are playing later on tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever. But don't know. I think the Canadian coach is Jesse Marsh. I would say your most famous player is Alphonso Davis or Jonathan David. But yeah, Canada is such a beautiful place and definitely on the bucket list for me to visit one day if possible. And I still got time. I'm only, I'm still young enough to be able to get there, so we'll see. We shall see. But that's the end. Oh, hang on. Jay says, no, not yet. Canada has advanced to the round of 16 after the South Africa one. Wow. That's the game. I didn't know if they'd won. Canada, a really good side. Yeah, but again, Morocco, really good team. That'll be a tough game for Canada. I'm still going for France or Portugal to win the World Cup. With Germany's already knocked out. Holland's already out. I predicted at the start of the World Cup Portugal, but France are looking phenomenal. So who knows who's going to win the World Cup? Kawaziz 5946 says hi. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live. Jay says, yeah, I don't think they'll beat Morocco. Morocco were a really good team, some really good players. And I'm rooting for France. Okay, yeah. Obviously, in Canada, I think French is one of the languages, isn't it? Or is that just parts of Canada? I'm not sure. But you never know. If Canada play better on the day, they might win. Who knows? Who knows? But like I said, that's the live Q&A for this evening. Thank you for everyone who's joined. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of it. I want everyone to stay safe, look after yourself, look after your family and friends, and of course join me live next time, which will be Wednesday evening. No, what day is it today? Wednesday. It's Wednesday evening today, and then I will be live Sunday evening. Jay says yes, 10 to 20% of Canadians speak French. Wow, yeah, I knew that French was one of the languages. I didn't know how popular it was. So yeah, I will be live Sunday evening for another live Q&A. So just remember, guys, you are enough. You matter. You are seen, heard, and valued. And the world's a better place with you in it. Look after yourself, look after your family and friends, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Goodbye.